So, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Fireside Chat. Brady Holland here with eXp Realty and the Tyler Miller team, and got a special guest with me today, Pete.
Modest.
Yeah, yep. Wasn't going to get it.
No, that's right. No one does. So I always tell people it's modesty without the T.
Okay, modest.
It's just modest.
All right,
My wife is convinced that we all say it wrong because no one
says it right.
No, I think there's been one person in my 38 years of life that has got it right.
That's crazy. I have a friend that his last name's Danielowski.
Okay.
And that no one gets that one right. But yeah, so Pete, welcome on. Thanks for coming today. I appreciate it. Like I kind of mentioned, we kind of just jump into an origin story right away. Like, give me the background of who Pete is and how he came to be a realtor.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I grew up in the Twin Cities. Twin Cities on the west side, Plymouth boy. That's where I cut my teeth, I guess, in the the suburbs of Plymouth, and just normal life growing up. In my senior year of high school, really felt like I was supposed to pursue a career in ministry, and so jumped into ministry. Was in it for 12 years, and got my master's, all that. Loved doing it. Loved being a part of the church, and I was a part of a Bible camp too, and just loved that, the environment and being used in that way, and it was awesome. In November of 2020, I was let go from my ministry job and didn't know what I was supposed to do next, and so was talking with a bunch of pastors that I knew, a bunch of friends I had, and one of them said, "Well, you should really look into real estate." He said, "I think you'd make a great realtor," and that was shout out to Brian Schulenberg.
Shout out.
So he kind of set the tone for me to do that, and so jumped into real estate, and the rest is history. And so it's been up and to the right ever since. So really what kind of got me thinking about real estate and what made my initial
jump almost.
Jump,
That's a very big.
It was a huge jump. Didn't know where I was supposed to go. Didn't know what I was supposed to do. And started talking with a bunch of different brokerages and not really sure what I was going to do or how things were going to pan out. Because it was my first journey into the for-profit world.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to, what are the questions I'm supposed to ask of team leads, of brokers? I don't know this. And every conversation that I had, it was all about how much business can you do? How many transactions can you bring in? How big is your sphere? And it was all this focus on
how much are you going to make us?
How much you're going to make? Yeah. How much you're going to make us as a brokerage?
Yep.
And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm just here kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, I have no clue. This is my first journey into the for-profit. I guess this is the conversation I'm going to have. And it felt super uncomfortable to me because I was like, this isn't who I am. This isn't who I want to be. My only experience with a real estate agent was or my latest experience with a real estate agent was the greasy, slick back hair, all about the transaction.
Suit and tie.
Yep, suit and tie, and he's going to go put on his sailing shoes and go on his yacht later. And heard from we bought our house through him, and he never reached out, never continued the relationship, never maintained that connection with us. And so I was like, that's not what I want to be, but
that's
I didn't
just
have
mind blowing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we were low hanging fruit. We're gonna buy, we need to buy, and we're a young family. There's potential 3 or 4 more houses that we're gonna potentially sell or buy through him. And he just didn't maintain the relationship. Still haven't heard from him to this day.
You should reach out and be like, "Yo, I'm selling houses now." Stealing your business.
I think he knows. But that was my only experience, and I didn't know anything else other than that. Yeah. But I knew that's not what I wanted to be.
That's funny because I don't know if you know who Daniel DeRoche is.
Yes.
Big time agent in Minnesota. Yeah. I've had him on this podcast a couple of times, and he talks about kind of a similar experience. The reason he got into real estate is because He's like, the agent that helped me buy my house here sucked. He's like, if you're making this much doing that, I can make a lot more doing way better. So it's a very similar. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a relationship based business. If you're not creating those relationships with your clients, like you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
I was just talking to an agent, and very high producing agent, like sold over 30 houses this year, like kills it.
Yeah.
But he's like, 5 of my clients this year I've never saw the house. And I'm taking my clients out to dinner, coffee, like
getting to know
I'm
them.
like,
Yeah.
I want to know everything about these people, because it just makes the whole experience 10 times better.
It totally does. And that was, as I was interviewing these brokerages, having these conversations, I sat down with the one I'm with now, and their first question to me was, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't this, like, what can you bring to us? But it was like, how can we serve you? And it kind of flipped a switch for me where I was like, oh, real estate isn't sales.
Yeah.
Real estate is service. And it's like, it's my job to serve my clients. And I was like, okay, I think I can do that. And then jumped in after I got my license and all of that stuff. And I learned quickly that the licensing classes don't teach you how to do real estate. They teach you how many square feet are in an acre.
An acre, yeah.
And you never get asked that. It's like 43,560, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I think there might be a 7 in there too.
Maybe.
Or something. I don't know.
Maybe. But so I realized quickly, like, I don't know, like, how do I write a purchase agreement? How do I do this? And so Edina has this Edina U program for new agents. It's 3 weeks of, like, here's how you do real estate.
Yep.
And every day they started Edina U with, when you're out prospecting, you're not out prospecting for transactions. You're prospecting for relationships.
It's creating those new conversations and having good, solid, connecting conversations with people.
It is. And so then I was like, oh, so real estate's about serving people and building relationships. That's what I've done for the last 12 years in ministry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can serve people and I can build relationships.
Yeah.
Those are things I'm good at. And so that's how I've done my business. And so I try every day to write 2 thank you cards to people in my life. And
That's
so
amazing.
It's a discipline that I've done since I started this business. And so some seasons are good, some seasons aren't so good about it.
Right.
But it's an easy, like, just pick 2 people a day. Spend 10 minutes, write a card, send it off to them. And I can't tell you how many people, like, reach back out and say that card made their day, made their week. I wrote one to a mom last week, and she got it and she messaged me on Facebook saying, hey, your card turned around my day. Because I was having a rough day. She's a stay-at-home mom, 3 boys, homeschools, and there's nothing against that. Like,
that's a lot.
It's a lot. And so just wrote her a card. Like, she's a consistent volunteer at church, and, like, she shows up every week. And I just wanted to write her a card of encouragement to say, you're doing a great job. You're killing it as a mom. Like, keep it up.
That's the difference right there.
That's the difference.
That's the difference between someone that's going to sell 10 houses a year and someone that's going to sell 40 or 50. You know,
and I mean, I'm not in it for her business. Like,
no,
I want to just encourage her as a mom. And so I was able to do that. She wrote me back and just said, that card turned my day around.
Wow.
And I was like, for spending, go to Target, get the 50 pack of cards, and, stamps. It's like, okay, that's easy. And then the other thing that I do is, and I haven't been great consistency about it in this season, but I'll do video Facebook messages on, and I'll do happy birthday messages.
Yep.
And so it's all, Facebook tells you whose birthday it is, and so I'll just click on their profile and message them and just do a short little, like, hey, happy birthday.
Yep.
How are you doing today? Or do you have any big plans? Or how can I pray for you? Like, those kinds of things. And I think I get like a 90% response on those videos that I do.
Have you ever heard of Bomb Bomb?
I have.
Okay.
Yep.
Because Daniel, he lives by that.
Yep.
He's like, I use it every single day.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And nobody does video messages.
So like we have Zillow on our team, and like our number one thing is like, obviously set the appointment on that Zillow call right away. But after that, send a video message to them saying like, hey, this is the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know, I'll see you at 3 p.m. at 123 Main Street.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it. If you need anything at all, just feel free to give me a call or shoot me a text. And like that, our conversion when we did that and when we didn't is like night and day difference.
Yeah.
Just like that little change.
Just
like,
saying like, hey, I'm a real person.
Yeah.
And I care about you. I care about where you're going in life. And
yeah.
if I can help you in any way, like,
So
I want
worth
to.
it. Yeah.
And that's been the game changer for me.
Yeah. I just got a deal under contract on Monday. Such a special moment. We signed our buyer contract January 27th of this year.
Wow.
We've been working this hard.
Yeah.
We've wrote 7-8 offers where she was an FHA buyer, needed seller pays like this spring.
Yep.
Wasn't going to happen.
No.
And then she had a super busy summer, so she kind of held off her search, and then we finally got into something, and called her on Monday and was like, hey, December 15th, you're going to be a homeowner. And she just broke out in tears.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is why
Yeah.
we do this. We are changing people's lives. And hey, people may think we're salesy people and slobby or whatever you want to say, but like at the end of the day, we are helping people's lives for the better.
Yep.
And that's what I love about this business.
Yep. I was working with a client for about 18 months, and just one of those stories that's just heartbreaking. The guy was in his 50s and lost his wife to a form of lung cancer, left with 2 kids, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. And they were living in his parents' 2-bedroom townhouse, 700 square feet, and his parents were late 70s. And so two senior adults, this dad, and then his 2 10 and 12-year-old kids, and his parents were lifelong renters. And so there's no generational wealth in any way, shape, or form. And so worked with him for about 18 months, finally got him a place, and like getting him signed, getting him under contract, getting him to the closing table. Like it was a slugfest to get him there, but we got him there.
Wow.
And like my lender and I, like, it was really emotional for me at the time because I put so much time and effort into getting this guy a home, but then also realizing like, well, I'm changing his family's history, not just his, but his family.
Yeah.
Real estate is probably the most consistent, like, year-over-year return on investment that anyone can have. And so
one of the best investments.
And going like, I just changed this guy's life and probably his kids' lives. And there's nothing greater in this industry than that moment.
I just helped a 23-year-old get into a townhouse in Blaine. Generational first-time home buyer. He was born in New Guinea, moved over to the United States, and no one in his entire family has ever owned a house.
Wow.
And he was the first one, and like, I handed him the key, and he just was like, this isn't even real, man. Like, I got brothers in New Guinea, I got brothers in like New Amsterdam, like all over the world that have never even felt this.
Wow.
And he was I took him out to dinner, and we were talking. He's like, man, like, once I get some equity in this place, like, I want to get like a HELOC and I want to go buy land in New Guinea for my family.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn, like, he has that option because I could get him into a house. Like,
that he could turn things around for his entire family because of what we're able to open the door to.
Yeah.
Like,
so I was just
incredible.
like, that's a crazy story. And like me and him, like like I said, he's younger. He was born in New Guinea and like moved over here a little later in life. And like, he doesn't have too many friends here. So like, me and him have created that connection where like we go on double dates together and like just hang out as like boys at this point. And like that's really cool too. Like to just create a friendship out of this is special.
Yeah. Well, and that's been like, sometimes I love the closing table, but then I don't love it because then I go, oh, I'm not gonna hang out.
I don't have a reason to like text you every day.
To hang out with you anymore. I had a older set of clients that I was helping move to Monticello, and like they're just people that you just love to be with. And we text each other occasionally still now of just like, hey, did you see this house or did you see that house? Because we saw some interesting homes with
some
them
doozies
while we were out there. We were at a house, I think up in Ham Lake or Blaine. I don't remember what it was. And we went down into the basement of this house, and there was just a shower stall in the basement. Nothing like the furnace and utilities and all of that, but then just the shower stall. Like normally you see the Pittsburgh toilet and that's it.
Yeah.
But this was just a shower stall.
That's so weird.
I opened up the shower stall, and everything from like my neck down was bright orange.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad, guys. This is gonna be real bad. So I went to turn on the faucet, and I think the first like 3 seconds of water was orange and rusty. And I was like, this is so gross. But you see that sometimes.
You just see some crazy stuff out here. I was at a house in St. Paul, like we're in the basement, and they had like a prison door.
Oh.
Like, I mean, this door was, yay thick.
Yeah.
And it said keep out on the door and like red, and it looked like blood. And like me and my client were like, what the heck? Like,
we're going to get out of here now. we're done.
Yeah. It's just stuff like that is really crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There was a house I was in up in Elk River where we went down into the basement of this house, and it was a door to a bedroom that locked from the outside.
Oh, geez.
And we were like, well, that's
strange.
And then we go into the room, and there's like claw marks on the wall, under the windows.
Oh my
and
gosh.
We're like,
I think this is a no.
I think we're a no on this one.
Yeah, that's funny. I was at one house in St. Paul and had somebody come knock on the door.
Oh.
And I'm like, can I help you? And he goes, is there any little girls inside? And me and my client were like, what? And I'm like, no. And he asked again, are there any little girls? And I'm like, dude, I'm going to call the cops if you don't leave. And he just left, drove away, nothing. I was like, wow, what just happened?
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, real estate's fun, I guess.
You do meet some interesting people.
I was in one house. We couldn't find the basement. We're
Okay.
like, where the heck is the basement? And it was one of the trap doors.
Oh.
But it was under the stove. So I had to move the stove to get to the basement.
Huh.
And it was just terrible down there. But like, we didn't buy that house. But
Yeah.
still, I'm just like, weird.
Yep. No, I was in a house in New Hope where it was the same thing, where the access to the crawl space was just this
Trap door.
door, but it was in the middle of the kitchen.
Really?
So it was just like right in the middle of the kitchen, open it up, go down. You could walk in there, but like, it's like, oh, this is just interesting.
I was in one in Crystal, and it was
Okay.
in like a closet.
Okay.
And I'm like, weird. And I opened it up, and like, I tried to get down there, and like the ladder, I guess, was like falling apart. I'm like, if I go down there, I don't know if I'm getting back up.
No.
So I just like put my phone down there and like twisted it, tried to get the best I could, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is the one for us.
No. I'm also the guy who, if there's a door, I'm going to open it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, if there's, where does this door lead? And where does this one go? And how do we, I'll crawl under steps and all that. And my client's like, why are you doing that? It's like, because I want to know what's in the house.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be surprised by anything.
Yeah. Have you been to those like townhomes that have like the crawl spaces like underneath? It's like probably the height of this table is all it is. And like the furnace it's on its side, like the water heater's on its side, like all this. I was in one of those, and I'm like crawling around, and they're like, what are you doing? What do you see? I'm like, and like it's the whole foundation.
Yeah.
So it's like huge under there.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, like there is so much storage down here. And it's like an older couple. They're like, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to go down there. I'm like, get your kids to store stuff down here.
Kids or grandkids or something.
Yeah, call me. I'll help. Like, yeah, no, it's we just see some crazy stuff out there and some crazy clients. But hey,
but that's the
the
gig.
business,
That's
right?
the business. No, it's been fun to be able to come alongside those people and the ones that you have a relationship with, and like, hey, I can help you with this practical thing, and we can move forward.
Yeah.
The hard part becomes in those instances where a deal goes south, or a bad negotiation, or miscommunication between agents because it happens.
Way too much too.
And then it's like, oh, then you feel bad because you're like, I know these people, and whether they're family or close friends, and you're like, oh, you feel like you let them down at times.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the business, right?
It is the business.
We've been talking about a lot lately in our team is like we have to provide value more than like ever before.
Yeah.
Like we have to provide value for our clients because that's our number one job. Like,
Yep.
We're a resource for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And like I've been telling my clients that so much. Like, guys, I'm not trying to like use you to get you into a house. Like I just want to help you get into the right house for you at the right time for you.
Yep.
If it's a good time now, great.
Yep.
If not, then let's keep working on it. Let me know when you need me, or let me know what you need from me.
Yeah.
And just providing that value day in and day night, or day in and day out.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I tell my clients, like whether I'm meeting with them in the buyer meeting, the first time I meet with them, I usually tell them like, it is never my job to sell you a house. Like it is not my job to sell you something. It's my job to help process and walk with you through this journey. Like if you want the house, we will bend over backwards and I will do whatever it takes to get this house.
Yeah.
If you love it right away, I'm going to try to pick it apart for you.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to try to say, oh, here's a concern, here's a yellow flag, or even the red flags that I do know.
Right.
Here's a red flag. But it's like, I want you to know, like you're going into this with both eyes open.
Yeah. Give them like the most honest and serious approach you can.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
that's what we got to do.
Yep. And I know there are some agents in the industry who get on mom and dad for coming to the inspections.
Yeah.
And I go always of this mindset of like, the more eyes on the house, the better.
Yeah.
And like, bring your parents along, bring your uncle along, bring your contractor friend along. 'Cause like they're going to see stuff I don't get to see.
Yeah.
And then it gives me,
I get to learn.
and I get to learn, but it also gives me that opportunity then to like talk with mom and dad and be like, hey, I am on your kid's side. I'm on your team.
Yep.
Like, I'm not focused on the transaction. I'm not focused on getting this to close. I want to help your son, your daughter, whoever buy the house that they want, not buy the house that I think they need.
Yeah. Well, and like one thing I've really been focusing on lately is like that everybody in this transaction's a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, beforehand, like me, the lender, you guys, like we're all working together to get you a pre-approval, and then you and me are working as a team to find the right house. Once we get that offer accepted, we're through all the contingencies and stuff, then you, me, lender, title, listing agent, seller, we're all on the same goal. The seller wants to sell their house. You want to buy their house. We've all agreed on the negotiations. How do we all work together to make this happen?
Yep.
And I tell the listing agent, like first conversation, like, hey, I want you to know, like, this is a team. Like, I want to work with you. Let's make this happen, and let's make this an easy, smooth transaction for both of our clients.
Yep.
Because if we do that, then we're going to look like heroes, and we're going to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we'll get everybody to the closing table, and we'll all be happy.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. And so what are some of the things that you've been noticing in the market lately that have been changes that have, it's everybody's talking interest rates and
huge drop
inventory
and
like all that. So what are the trends you guys are seeing?
Obviously there's just not that much competition right now.
Mm-hmm.
Inventory is not that low, honestly, right now. I feel like there's a lot of houses available. You look back last spring, I'd write up, go through a buyer consultation, do a home search, and they'd be like, all right, here's the one house.
Here's the one chance we get. Yeah.
Where now we do that, and there's like 20. And I'm like, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we're going to have an inventory problem for many, many years to come.
Yeah.
But right now, with the interest rates being so high, I guess, the competition is so low that people can get into a house and get a pretty damn good deal.
Yeah.
And like make a bunch of equity, because once those rates drop and competition brings back up, and
right.
Like that's what I just explained to the buyer that I got under contract this week. I was like, hey, like this isn't your forever home. That's okay. But we get in this home 2-3 years from now, you sell for $50K over, make $40,000 on this house. We can get that house that you want.
Yeah.
But this is a first step, because if we wait until rates drop, we're going to be beat out every time.
Yep.
We don't have the money for it right now.
Yeah.
So we got into a house, and that's the person that ended up crying. She's like, this is going to like change my life because I know I can sell it for more in 2-3 years and go finally get that house that I really wanted in that area I really wanted. But she understood that like she has to make that sacrifice right now. She's willing to do it. So it's really cool. But other than that, I mean, it's just I'm writing an offer today for an assumable loan.
Okay.
2.25.
Wow. You're not seeing that anywhere else.
And she's like, so how, like, does this happen a lot? I'm like,
nope.
We got to hop on this if you want it.
Yeah. This, if you want
have a really good opportunity right now.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And she's like, it's a sad situation. Her husband died 6 months ago.
Oh.
Older couple. And it's right by Mercy Hospital.
Okay.
It's a detached townhome. And she's like, gosh, I don't know if I want to be this close to the hospital. But then her kids are there last night for our second showing. They're like, yeah, that's a good thing. You're close to the hospital. Anything happens, it's not like we got to drive 2 hours to the hospital.
Yeah, you're right here.
Yeah. So it's a really cool situation. I'm really hoping we're going to get something going here today. And kind of, it'd be a really cool story to say she got a 2.25% interest rate.
Right, when everything else is in the 7s. Yeah. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. She's pretty excited about it.
That's cool.
So
that's cool. No, I love that idea that you're talking about with your clients to like have them thinking future, not just now in the moment.
Like this is an investment.
It's
like we just said, it's like the best investment.
And it's a stepping stone. Yes, it's not your dream right now, but like this will help make your dream come true. Like,
I mean, you look at some of the top investors, right? They don't start with $10,000 and then jump up to $100 million.
No,
you gotta step up and get to that point.
Yeah.
So it's
and like long gone are the days of people buying their house and it's their dream house and it's the house they're in for 40 years. Like our parents' generation, absolutely.
Yeah, you could buy a house for a couple crackers. I mean.
60K, yes, 18% interest rate or whatever in the 80s, but like your house was 60K and that's all it was. Now with inflation and all that, like maybe your dream house is $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. A first-time home buyer doesn't have that kind of income unless you're making $250,000 a year or whatever.
And that's not.
That's not happening. No. And so I've also found that like, hey, setting those expectations of like, this is for now. This is for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's build that equity. It's a consistent builder. Like, it's not going to fluctuate with the stock market. It's not going to go up and down in crazy amounts. You might have a bad quarter where it drops 1%, but then maybe.
And that's usually like this quarter right now.
Yeah.
So it makes it even more valuable to buy right now.
Yep.
Right?
Totally. But then it's like, you're going to gain 5% next year. So it's like, all right,
it's worth it, guys.
It's worth it. It might not be the Taj Mahal. It might not be the mansion you want now, but like
5 years from now, that money could be.
Yeah.
So it's if I could buy a house right now, I would.
Yeah. Yep.
But I need more years of employment.
You
1099.
He needs some more buyers. He needs some more buyers and sellers.
I just need time to go a little faster.
Fair.
Give me that 2 years and I'll be good.
Yep. Yep. How are you finding the grind of being an agent?
So we always talk about being a lion on our team. You gotta have that lion mentality, baby. And we always say like the thing about the lion is they love the hunt. They love that process. They love the open houses. They love the prospecting. And that's why they're the king of the jungle. So if we want to get to that point, we got to be loving the processes. We got to be loving the open houses, the events, the new conversations we're having. So getting my mind to think like I love every single thing I do because I know it's reaching my goal of finding that new client and changing their life. So loving that process of getting that point makes life like so valuable to me. I think that's where my head is at with it. Like,
No, I mean it's a grind for sure.
Oh.
And I think some people get into the industry thinking like, oh, it's going to be easy and I'll find clients.
I get my license, posted on social media, 10 people reaching out. Like, no, that doesn't happen.
That's not everybody. Because it can be a grind.
Well, and like the hardest thing for me is, look at me. I look like I'm 12, right? You know what I mean?
I mean,
I had to grow with a little bit of beard, so I look like 21 maybe. right? I am 21, so like getting through that point where someone's making their biggest financial decision in their life,
and you're walking them through it,
and I'm walking them through it.
Mm-hmm.
People get scared about that.
Yeah.
But if I come out and just, I talk about confidence. Every good agent has that confidence. If
Yep.
I walk in with confidence, explaining every situation,
Hmm.
they're gonna be like, I don't care how old are you,
Yeah.
how old you are. Like
Doesn't
I just
matter.
want to
Yep.
help you in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's what I'm here for.
Right.
Like,
Right. So, where have you seen the most success in promotion, as far as like social media, podcasting? Like, where has been what's been your biggest lead source?
open houses.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. Open houses and then Sphere and
Okay.
referrals from past clients and business
Okay.
partners like that. Creating those relationships have been huge for me,
Hmm.
right? And if you're not doing that as an agent, try it.
Yeah.
It's gonna triple your business almost.
Yeah.
If you create that really good, solid relationship.
Hmm.
I was sitting with a client at dinner, took him to Pittsburgh Blue, and they're sitting there across from me like, this is the nicest dinner we've had in like 10 years.
Hmm.
And I'm like, hey, let's just have a good time. I bought like a bottle of wine, like we're all
Yeah.
drinking wine, having a really good time.
Yeah.
Had amazing food, great experience. We ate on the patio, and afterwards they're like, hey, they said two things. The first thing they said is like, we got a lady friend that's single. She's 30. And I'm like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah. Don't do that right now. Yeah.
I'm like, and the second thing was like, our parents
Hmm.
are looking to get into a townhouse and sell their house. Would you want to help them? And I'm like, I would love nothing more
Hmm.
to help people in your family because we had an amazing experience.
Yeah.
So it works, people.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think it does, try it.
Yep. Yeah, it's that relationship and letting the real estate conversation not drive the interaction and just be
No.
a real person.
Talk
And
about
then-
their life. Talk about what they do for work,
Mhm.
who their friends are, what do they do for fun. They love like EDM concerts and like raves. And I'm like, dude, we should just go to one. Like, I've never been. Like, let's just have a good time.
just introduce me to the world and let's see what
Right?
happens. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
a lot of cool stories like that from doing those different events or
Yeah.
dinners or whatever. But open houses.
Open houses.
How about you? What are you seeing?
For me, my biggest successes come from social media.
Yeah.
Like that's all I do.
Yeah.
I do some open houses, but I don't do a ton. I usually like to give that opportunity to other agents as
Yeah.
they're getting started because I'm a full-time agent. I'll end up doing more business than I did last year.
That's amazing.
But I'm
Congrats.
also a full-time pastor.
Oh, that's right,
So
yeah.
so I'm in both of those worlds, and so I get the opportunity to help another agent start their business by letting them do the open houses. So it's like I'm not going to do that. My job is to sell the house, and if I can provide an opportunity for another agent to build their business, that's what I'm going to do. But everything else has come on social media.
Yeah. No, social's crazy. I've only got like 2 leads from social,
Okay.
but 2 more than I wouldn't have had. So,
Right.
And I think it's growing, and I'm getting to that point where like my sphere, like my friends on socials are going to start graduating college,
Yep.
and then really
And then
that's when it gets different.
And that's where my first broker, he got his license in college, and basically he was the only one that all of his high school friends knew as a realtor, and so like he literally helped all of his high school buddies buy their condos in Minneapolis or wherever they bought, and
Yeah.
like that's where he got a lot of business from. And then now I think he's been in the industry like 15 years, and like he said it's just been incredible. No, longer than that. He did it right out of high school. So or right out of college. So yeah, 15, 20 years, something like that.
That's
and
crazy.
That's how he cut his teeth.
Yeah.
So
No, that's where I think that's where it's going to be nice when I have all those people starting to look to buy.
looking for their
'cause
first place.
talk about the obvious choice in that situation.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They know, God, he's been doing this for 4 years now. Like,
And he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And he knows what's available and what's not, and how to guide him through the process. So
Exactly.
you're
so I'm
sitting
excited for that.
Yeah. So come May,
Yep.
all of you
College grads.
you college grads who know this guy,
Hit me up.
hit him up. So no, that'll be really good for you. But yeah,
So-
mine has all been through sphere and influence and
Yeah.
and all that. Like in the job that I was doing at camp, I'd work with 40 plus college students every year.
Yeah.
And so every summer it's a whole new crop of students that I would train and
prospect.
And so it becomes, but they kind of become all over. And so like when I look at my history of transactions, I mean, I've driven up to Park Rapids, I've been to Hinckley, I've been down to Rochester, I've been to Mankato, I've been to Norwood Young America, I've been to Monticello. I'm going to Rockford after we get done with this. So it's literally, I've been all over the state with clients, helping them look for houses. Because also like, I'm not going to tell you no. I want you to trust the person that you're with. And so it's been Sphere and social media for me.
Yeah.
So
how was being, a minister and going through all that? How is that, currently doing that full time as well? How has that helped your business?
For me, it's been a good reminder that it's the relationships that matter. Like there's that old adage, it sounds cliche, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. It's like, it's cliche, but it's so true. And so being a pastor, it's really reaffirmed that like, hey, it's really the relationship with these people that matters. It's who they are, where they're going in life, what are their dreams, what do they want to accomplish, and how can I help them take that next step? Whether that's in real estate, whether that's spiritually, whether that's in their family life, personally, like I get to see that component. And there's that side of me that's just that caring, nurturing, pastoral component that like, man, that's fit really well.
Yeah.
But again, like not wanting to use that as a business builder, wanting to just be like, no, this is just who I am. And this is something also that I do that I can help with if you want. Otherwise, I'll refer you out to someone else that I trust. Because, there are agents out there who you do know, who are going to treat them well and who are going to approach them the same way you will, and who value that relationship just as much as you do. And so there's also that opportunity that we have to be like, hey, I'll refer you out to an agent that I trust that will treat you well.
That's cool. I like that. Other question, gotta know.
Yeah.
What's with the pink? There's got to be some backstory.
There is a backstory to the pink.
Let me just get in here real quick. I'm excited.
Yeah. So #Pete The Pink Realtor. Follow me on social. I jumped into real estate. I was like, I'm going to be all about the brand.
Yep.
I'm going to rock the Edina brand real hard, and like got the polos and the sweaters and everything red and black and all of that. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rock that brand. It's going to be great. Edina is a strong name. And then I attended a training with Kelly Brown where she was talking about branding and marketing and all of that. And she said, no one actually works with you because of your brokerage.
Yeah.
They work with you because they know you. And I was like, that kind of like hit me like a 2x4 across the face, where I was like, oh, okay. They work with me because it's me. Yeah. Not because I'm an Edina agent. Yes, sometimes I'll get leads from Edina, whatever, but that's not my primary source of leads. And so I was like, okay, so I got to brand myself. And there's a part of that conversation that was super uncomfortable and super like, I don't like to brand myself. Right. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to do those things. But I was like, no, that's what I have to do. So I started going, okay, what color can I choose? Because I was like, that's the easiest way to start a brand. A brand is like, okay, what color's out there? And so I followed a bunch of realtors on social media, and I was like, there's nothing that stands out, nothing that's eye-popping. And then I was like, well, with Kelly Brown, she has that teal color. Yep. If you're on the west side of the cities and you see a teal sign, that's Kelly Brown Homes. Yep. Like
probably was at a school district.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, she's really successful, incredibly successful. Her team is killing it. Yeah. And so I was like, well, they chose a color. I'll choose a color. And I was like, well, pink stands out, and no other agents that I know are doing pink. And so I was like, well, I'll do pink. And so that's where I started. Like most of my posts are pink. There's a pink background. Like I've got these, templates in Canva, which if you're not in Canva, like
you're missing out.
You're way missing out on Canva. And so like I have all these, and I was like, well, just make them pink. Just make them all pink. Make them all pink. And then my wife was like, while we're doing this, you should change your clothing, and like you should have everything in pink. because that's going to stand out.
Yeah.
And so, and most times when a couple is having a conversation about real estate, it's the woman who starts the conversation. And there's, pink is a color that just naturally stands out to women. And so when they're scrolling through social, they'll see Pete the Pink Realtor, and they'll stop and they'll hover on it. And so that's where pink came from.
That's so cool.
I
love that.
And so it's everything. It's not my favorite color, but it's the color that I've chosen to use. So every shirt or hat or I mean, I'm wearing pink shoes right now.
Even that flannel has pink in it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't really see because we got pink lights.
Yeah.
But there's pink in that
There's
flannel.
pink in that, and my shoe. My shoe is even pink.
Look at that.
I don't know if you can see that. It's a brand of shoe called Kizik's. I don't know if you're familiar with Kizik's.
They look similar to like those.
Yeah. And so it's the greatest shoe ever because it's like slip in, slip out. You don't gotta.
So good for real estate.
You don't have to bend over and tie your shoe.
Yeah.
It's like great. So if you're a realtor and don't have Kizik's, you need Kizik's. I'll give you a referral code if you need it.
Shout out. Heck yeah. DM Pete
right?
the Pink Realtor for
There you
that
go.
promo code.
But it's great. But anyway, that's the story behind pink.
Yeah. I mean,
and-
you think about some realtors, Alex Murray with Edina Realty, Red Heels.
Red heels.
That's
every time.
Alex, right?
Yep. I saw someone else in red heels, and I was like, "That's Alex." And I was like, "No,
Nope.
it's not." I was like, "Oh,
It should be.
It should be." But I'll have people.
Tyler was at Edina Realty before he went to
Yeah.
EXP, and Alex was on Tyler's team, so
Okay.
they have a really close
Yeah.
connection. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
we know Alex and
Cool.
Kelly Brown. Funny story about Kelly Brown. I was in Vegas with Kelly Brown in October, and I'm playing slots at like 3 a.m. after this after party, and I'm hitting it, and I'm like looking around, keep hitting it. I'm like, oh, I won like $700. Didn't even know it. I took it out. I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't even know where I am. And then coming walking down like the main hallways, Kelly Brown. And I'm like, yo, Kelly. Because we were just at a party together.
Yeah.
She's like, Brady. And I was like, I just won. And like, we just had, it was so much fun. Shout out Kelly Brown right
That's
there.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I and so I'll actually have people like if they see someone in pink, like I had a client who's driving through St. Paul. They saw somebody running in pink, so the pink running shirt, pink shorts on.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, they
that you?
texted me. They're like, Pete, are you running in St. Paul right now? I was like, nope, but this is why I wear pink. So when people think Pete, they think Pete the Pink Realtor.
Oh my gosh,
Or when they
that's
see
so
pink,
awesome.
so it's trying to create that word association and that familiarity to be top of mind. Has been really, really good.
That's cool. Yeah, no,
That's why I wear pink.
that's awesome. That is awesome. I love it. Well, Pete, the Pink Realtor.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Where can people find you? That's a big one, right?
Yeah.
Pete the Pink Realtor.
Pete the Pink Realtor on all socials, primarily on Facebook and Instagram. I do some on LinkedIn, but not a ton.
Yeah.
But mostly Facebook and Instagram.
I love that. Yeah, I'll put your stuff in the description as well. But
Perfect.
Other than that, any last things you want to say?
Most realtors are out to serve you. They're not out for the transaction. They're not out for a payday. They're here to serve and work with the one you trust. Work with the agent that will tell you the truth, will tell you the hard stuff, will also celebrate all the little things along the way. And so that's, if you're looking for that kind of a person, that kind of a relationship, like that's an agent, and that's a really good agent. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't think you could have said it any better. I think that is a great spot to kind of end this episode. So, Pete, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come out here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But,
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to everyone that was watching. As always, like, subscribe, do the things. Follow Pete the Pink Realtor on all
Yes.
platforms, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.